Hello, everyone. We are back again. Just like what we promised in our previous show that we're going to come back and discuss about Sowore. I just received this news that Sowore has been refused bail by authorities after arrested in Abuja a few days ago. Right now, Nigerians are protesting for his release. I have with me, all the way from the northern region of Nigeria, Mr. Magnus Oraka. Hello, sir.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us today. Sowore was arrested a few days ago, and right now the Nigerian authorities are refusing his bail. His bail. So, what do you think will be the outcome of this arrest?
First and foremost, let me make it fundamentally clear. I was in one of Showore's program. I dropped my number
Mm,
with him that I wanted to speak with him, but
mm,
obviously I wasn't surprised he didn't make any effort to make contact with me.
mm.
For me, I have never been a fan of Sowore. I actually don't like him. That's the truth.
Ah,
So, and my reason, I don't, not that I don't like him as a
ah,
person, but
yeah.
but his activities in the past,
Mm,
it will be wrong of us to say we will
Okay,
immediately forget
everyone.
what he has done in the past.
mm,
Uh, let's not forget that Sowore is the CEO of Sahara Reporters, and Sahara Reporters was one of the foremost instruments
mm.
that the APC government and Buhari and the Northern Cabal used in bringing down Goodluck Jonathan, and all sorts of lies and whatever you have was fabricated to ensure that the man was brought down, that ushered in Buhari today. He made it, the show we are talking today made a lot of money, huge sums of money, because he was delivering the job that the northern cabals, the northern caliphate
But
wanted
we
him
are
to
not
deliver,
sure
and
if
he
they
deli-
paid him, if he was paid
uh,
for that, because Sowore
no,
has
no, he was paid.
been.
He was paid. I don't say what he
No,
was paid.
let's be
My sister,
sincere about
my
this.
sister.
Let
Hold on,
no,
my sister.
Sowore has.
That you call me
Mm,
my
yeah,
sister. Sahara Reporters was paid. I am not saying things. Magnus Oraka, Magnus Oraka said that the APC government and Buhari paid Sahara Reporter, paid Sowore huge sums of money in his smear campaign that he used Sahara Reporters to embark upon. Please, I don't make comments if I don't have backings. It's not, I hear say, no. He made a lot of money from the APC machinery. So my grounds with Sowore is this. You help in building a monster. The same is like getting a pit bull. The same pit bull that you help in bringing up
but I
is
don't
now
want to
backing
cut
you.
you off, sir. If really that he was paid to campaign for President Buhari, why did Sowore later on change his mind and be protesting against the administration of President Buhari? You know.
Sowore is one of many Nigerians who actually believed that
Mm,
the APC machinery was actually going to bring change. They actually believed that
mm,
they actually believed that the Goodluck Jonathan was looting and pilfering our economy, that the man is ineptitude, and then Buhari was going to restore order as he seemingly did during the 1984 when we had a structural war against the discipline. So they were one of those who actually fell for that gimmick that this man Buhari, the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was coming to change Nigeria to a better country. Unfortunately, they didn't know that Buhari is a fundamentalist Fulani man who believes in uplifting the
mm.
Fulani agenda, who believes in carrying out the Uthman Danfodo theory, where they said they are going to dip the Quran as far as the ocean in the south. So when he now saw that, in fairness to him, he now saw that the type of change he envisaged
Mm.
by bringing Buhari in is not the change that he uses resources to campaign for, and that is why he is now going against the people, the person he helped to bring in. But he also erroneously thought that because The Fulani man has no permanent friend, has no permanent, he has permanent enemy, but no permanent friend. So he believed that because of the understanding that they've used him to bring down a perceived Goodluck Jonathan, who was going to have an 8 term, because what the Fulanis didn't want was a Goodluck Jonathan having a 10-year presidential reign, which no Fulani man has gotten. No president in the Nigeria has ruled Nigeria for 10 years. So they didn't want it. Everything they did was to prevent Goodluck Jonathan. They believed 6 years was enough for him. Forget whether that 2 years was for during Yaradua's. All they know that Goodluck has had 6 years, 6 years, and 6 years was enough for him. So 10 years was not going to happen. So they used him. So the Showore's predicament is somebody who trained a pit bull. The pit bull is now matured, and now the pit bull is now backing at him. So he created the problem. You understand me? So he should, to me, Showore is a glory seeker. That's just it. Apologies to his supporters. That's what I feel, and I'm entitled to my opinion. He's just a mere glory seeker. That's all.
But he has done a lot to mobilize against corruption in Nigeria. Go ahead, Mr. Tinosa. Thank you for joining the show. So we are discussing about the arrest of Sowore that Nigerian authorities refused bail. So what do you think would be the outcome of this arrest? Because he has been under the detention of DSS for how many months before he was released on bail, and he had another problem with the authorities again. What exactly exacerbated this arrest? We really don't know.
Thank you very much for bringing me into this program today, and I hope you are hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, so for me personally, I don't have much to say about Sowore. I'm not his fan. But what I strongly believe is that currently what the government is doing is they are just trying to do their best to make sure they prevent a second uprising in any form. And being a Sowore being somebody that will be calling for, bring down the government, let us change the government. Most of his campaign is always campaigning against the government. I feel they are so fearful of this kind of people.
Yes.
So maybe this is the reason why they decide to detain him.
Yeah, they believe the reason is posing threats to the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah, and also many people from his own region who are vying for 2023. They believe that they just have to, please the current administration so that they can be able to reach some sort of agreement on how they can nominate somebody from that region also. And however, also their attitude is not in line with most of their politicians. So he criticized them. So that is why I feel they all plan together. And if you look at most of these arrests they normally made around from any region, they always consult their people first, like what they did to Kanu. So later, all of them were confessing, they were aware that they're going to arrest him, they're going to search his house and everything. You understand me? So all of them is politics, and it's also a game of that dirty politics that they have been playing in Nigeria, and that is why they arrested him. That's what I believe.
Okay. Here I have an article here that says that the lawyer, Showore's lawyer, Falana, on Sunday said that Sowore had been denied bail over alleged breaches of COVID-19 protocols. So, do we really have COVID-19 in Nigeria? It's a big question to Nigerian politicians. Do we have this COVID-19?
For me, personally, if I want to come, if the chance is given to me, my own opinion, we don't have it.
Okay.
So I thank. I have
it to justify the arrest of Sowore.
First of all, we're in a country where people look for one problem or the other to siphon the treasure of the country. So COVID-19 is a great example, and it's a great privilege for them or chances for them to do what they want to do. And that is why they're going to deceive Nigeria. Oh, we have COVID-19, it's happening. But we that is living in Europe here, the way we see COVID-19 behaving, we are fully convinced that it's not in our country. because if we have it there, there is nothing, there is no structure in place to help Nigerians at all. So, and for them to be using it as an excuse to arrest somebody, they definitely they will do it. After all, the masses believe that they have it. They believe that it is there. So for that reason, they can easily convince people, we have made a law, you are not complying, you are not doing
To
this.
the law,
But
yeah.
actually, COVID-19 is not in our country. The
Exactly.
characteristics of that disease is not there. We are not seeing it there.
There's no, yeah, there's no
Yeah.
COVID-19. Okay. Mr. Magnus, what do you think about this COVID-19 that they are using to justify the arrest of Sowore?
Yeah, first and foremost, you must understand something paramount. And that is one thing that I believe most Southerners and I've preached severally that they've refused to believe. The North, the oligarchic North, the caliphate, they are masters of misdirection. Let me repeat that again. The North, they are masters of misdirection. Misdirection is an act that suggests you are seeing what is happening, but what you actually saw is not what really happened. Let me put it in another perspective again. You see, misdirection is an act that suggests you saw what is normal, but what you actually saw is a process leading to another agenda that is inimical to the person seeing the action. That is misdirection. And the North, they are masters of this game, misdirection. That is why it is very easy to fool a lot of Southerners. Now, and it is even easier for them because they use the same Western education that we have. This is one of the reasons why they prevent their own youth from having the type of education we have, because to the North, they find it amusing that it is easy to actually fool us, even with all our intellectual prowess that we claim to have. It is really easy for them to manipulate us because all they need to do, for instance, now, if they catch Mr. Etinosa, that Mr. Etinosa has 1 billion naira stacked somewhere in his account, we'll all believe it. Without even asking how can Mr. Etinosa have 1 billion? Where did he have 1 billion naira? So why I brought this with this preamble is that, you see, they know that whatever they say is the reason why they arrested Etinosa. It will sink in well with the ever overzealous Nigerians who are always ready to fantasize about intellectual chippings that is being sent over by the Northern Caliphate. As regard whether there is COVID-19 in Nigeria, I will say yes and no. First and foremost, the COVID-19 now, there was a time they were paying doctors in Nigeria to actually declare that whatever patient that is brought to them is a COVID-19 patient. So there was a time I had some very, very serious cough, very, very serious cough that I had to treat with local herb, mix some things, put it in my usual Lugogoro, and I took it, and the cough disappeared after 5 days. So the truth is that the first and foremost, the COVID-19 is not as dangerous as they play it. It's a very simple ailment that can be cured. Now, it's an opinion, by the way, but the same people reported, the experts have reported that it is only those with underlying ailment that are seriously at risk of COVID-19. Now, you've not seen any young child, any youth of between 12, 16, 17, 18 died of COVID because their immune system is strong. Now, if you have underlying ailment like asthmatic patients, like diabetic patients, and you grab this thing, you become well. Now, because the North are experts in misdirection, the West brought in this COVID-19, which was a perfect excuse to once again play their act of misdirection. And with this COVID-19, it afforded, like Mr. Etinos has said, it afforded them a very brilliant opportunity for them to siphon huge billions of naira to their advantage. So because the COVID-19 is now what is now the in thing that everybody says everybody have, so it was a ready apparatus or excuse to use that by the government to say that, okay, this is why we refuse him bail. So if you are refusing somebody bail because he's going to contact COVID-19, what about us that are free? You see, it's funny. Like before in the other program, we said, look, any angle you try to navigate Nigeria's problem, it only like it's like a complex with many windows, and
Yes.
you are looking for which window to use to access the house. If you open this window, you find out there are complicated problems that inhibits you to grasp access to the house. So it's like any window you try to use to assess Nigerian problem, it has its own hydra-headed complications that further
So,
exacerbates
yeah. So let me
to understand the problem.
thank you, sir. Let me quickly read this article about Sowore, why he was arrested. Nigerian police arrested 5 activists on January 1st following a call from local residents complaining about an unusual gathering, the authorities said. Okay. They were arrested for unlawfully gathering at very odd hours, and causing tension against residents, a police spokesperson told the AFP news agents. Okay, I am not sure about this in Nigeria that residents will be calling police with regards to unlawful gathering. Is that justifiable? Is
That's a
that
lie.
in,
That's a
in a
big lie.
country like Nigeria? Come on now. I'm a Nigerian.
That's a big lie.
Okay.
As much as I said,
No,
I don't like Sowore, I'm not saying
you
I
don't say you
support
don't
what
like.
the Nigerian
Don't say
government.
you don't like him. You can say you are not so much. You don't like what he's doing. Not that you don't like him.
Yeah,
When you
no,
say
no,
you don't like him,
no, not that,
it's
I
really
don't, no, 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 let me correct it. Not that I don't like what he's doing. What he's doing is for the interest of Nigeria. The fact
when you
that
don't
he's
like him.
challenging, an autocratic government is good. But I just can't forget what he did in the past. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
saying what he's
But
doing
when you
is
just say
bad.
you don't like Sowore, it sounds a
Okay,
little bit
sorry.
so offensive
I
to.
take that word. I take that word back. I don't, as much as I don't like the antecedent that
Yeah,
that preceded the show
yeah.
of today.
What
You
is
understand
in
me?
the past?
It doesn't say that we support what the federal government is doing to him.
Yeah,
Now the
exactly.
fact that they say
Yeah,
that
yeah, even though he did
yeah, there's
something in the past that you are not really happy about him, but what the federal government is doing to Sowore, let's just forget about what he did in the past. Looking at what is going on with Sowore in Nigeria, that he has been fighting against this injustice and corruption embedded in the Nigerian political system. So right now, he was arrested a few days ago. He was rearrested again after he spent how many months under the DSS last year, right? Last year, 2019. So Sowore rearrested again, and the justification for his rearrest really don't make any sense to many of us. From what I just read right now, what do you have to say about Nigeria and the situation of the country? In Nigeria, like what I said before, is a lawless country. I don't think that country is guided by the rule of law, the way they arrest people and the way people are being treated, especially the less privileges. So go ahead, sir, and just comment on what the federal government is doing to Sowore in the country, if it's justifiable.
no, it is not. It's not justifiable at all. It will only take a senseless man to say that what the federal government is doing is right. You understand me?
Mm.
One of the mistakes that Sowore did was, he has a video of him. Now, Nnamdi Kanu is the number one enemy of the state. Now, there's a picture of him that showed that he visited Nnamdi Kanu in Egypt, and they took a picture together, and the picture was all over social media. There
No,
are
not
videos of
Egypt.
him.
Not in Egypt, sir.
Hello?
It was in the United
Okay,
States. In the United, not in Egypt. Sowore didn't.
okay. Either
Yeah,
way,
in the United States.
yeah, okay. Anywhere they took the
In
picture,
New
but there's a
York.
picture showed he met with. Yeah, there's a picture that showed he was with Nnamdi Kanu, and they took a picture together.
Mm.
That clearly shows that Sowore has an alliance with the #1 enemy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's one. Then two, there are videos that showed him walking along federal government institution lines and actually conversing with police, asking them what government is doing to them, if it is good or not, and sending the same videos to the public to show how bad the government is. And like Etinos has said, such videos can metamorphose or catalyze another NSAS protest. Like we said in one other video that we go, the NSAS protest was the greatest test that was going to shake the government. But you see, we didn't manage that opportunity very well. That we didn't manage that because they knew how to play this game. So eventually they played the game to the point that the NSAS was a process in futility. But it wasn't exactly a process in futility, because it's a clear signal that the people can rise up one day and take the law into their hand and decide what is good for them. That is the only good thing about the NSAS protest. So the government is desperately trying as much as possible to prevent another reoccurrence of the NSAS process. And for now, the only avenue they see another reoccurrence of NSAS is through Sowore. So it is safer to keep him under lock and key. You understand me? Because the crime, whatever crime Sowore has committed is not really strong enough to deny him bail. He has not considered any harm to anybody. He has not considered any harm to, but it goes to show how lawless our country and how reckless our government is, and how confident the government of the day feels they can, do whatever they want to do, and nobody's going to call them to order. It's sad that this is where we find ourselves today.
You are very right, sir. What you just said now, and the same thing is written here. Let me just read it. That on New Year's Eve, Sowore used social media to call for demonstrations under the banner "End Bad Governance in Nigeria," sending photos and encouraging Nigerians to take to the streets. You understand that exactly what you just said now. They believe that Sowore is posing threats to the peace and security of the country, even threatening the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, who happens to be from the northern region. So they are not happy with him. They are afraid that he will exacerbate, or this type of cause and everything will exacerbate another NSAS protest in the country. That is why they detain him. That is just the bitter truth behind this.
That's just it. But one thing the government should know again. One thing the government should know again is that the more they hold Sowore, you are building another Nnamdi Kanu again. You get me? Because at one point Nnamdi Kanu was not as relevant as he is, but Buhari, the continuous incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu and the drama that resulted into his release only ended up making him who he is today. And Nnamdi Kanu, as smart as he is, cashed in on the whole incidents to, elevate his profile to the artificial supreme leader that he is today. So what I'm also cautioning the government is that you do not end up creating another Nnamdi Kanu, because the longer you incarcerate Sowore, you are just building his profile so much so that you'll be building his profile, and then those who have sympathy for him will increase by the day, and then he can even call for protests right from the prison. He held an interview even from his detention. I don't know if you saw it. He granted an interview even right from his detention. He granted an interview to somebody, which I saw, I think day before yesterday also. So
and the more they
can still call for a protest even while
the more they detain
he can even call he can even call for a protest even right from his detention. So sometimes detaining these activists is not the best option. Sometimes ignoring. Do you know that during Goodluck Jonathan, we had all these activists screaming secession and all of, just as we have it now, but because they were ignored, that's why you didn't know they existed. But they were there. They were there. They did all this activism during Goodluck, but you ignored them. So sometimes you pay no attention to them. Just deliver good governance and ignore all this activism, and there wouldn't be peace. The truth is that whether they incarcerate Sowore or not, the truth is that Buhari is a failed government. The Buhari administration is the worst government in any civilized society that we have sensed over the years. That's just the truth about it. They can arrest as many people as they want, incarcerate as many people as they want, kill as many people as they want. It doesn't change the fact that Buhari has been the worst type of administrative government that Nigeria has ever witnessed.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Tino, sir, go ahead with this arrest and the justification for the arrest, especially that Sowore on New Year's Eve used social media handles to call for demonstrations under the banner of End Bad Governance in Nigeria, sending pictures, encouraging Nigerians to take to the streets. Okay, so how can you be arresting activists in 21st century under a democratic government whereby we have a freedom of peaceful association, freedom of protest? Okay, so the more you do that, the more you're going to expose the injustice going on in Nigeria to the rest of the world. That's what happened when he was arrested in 2019. And right now, if they denied his bail, and this will also intensify another tension.
So according to your question, first of all, we have to look at our mentality as an African people. You understand me? So the colonial era method is still what they are using, where you have to apply force upon people so you can, get whatever you want to get from them. So that is why the current situation we find ourselves, our leaders still believe in applying force to as citizens of the country. So they don't respect human rights. They don't respect constitution of the country. They respect nothing. And for them, once you are in position, the police is under you. The justice of the country is under you. So they can do whatever they like. And some of this system is what we have to fight. And the only way we can fight them is possibly just admitting that this country is not working and is not going to work. You understand me? So when they restructure the country, people will have chance to, debate the direction of their destiny. Like Sowore, as I said earlier, I'm not in support of his activism. Personally, that is my own opinion, because it's not going to change anything at all. Even if he managed to pull his people, ethnicity and tribalism is there. So, like NSAS brought the whole Nigeria together because it was a pain, or what I would say, something that affects the entire country, the entire youth. So the issue of Sowore can never affect the entire youth. He's an activist today, but without a clear, agenda about what he wants to do for Nigerians. He wants the bad governors to stop. How are you going to stop the bad governors? And in the first case, who are the bad governors? What we are facing today is accumulated years of failure of our government. It's not only Buhari administration. So if you hand them today, how are you going to lay foundation? What led to that failed government? So these are the issues we have to ask ourselves. So for now, if I see Sowore clamoring for restructuring and he mean it, I think I will support him. But if he's telling me he want to bring good governance to the country, I'm not going to be in support of that because I don't think he's going to achieve that. And actually, why they arrested him is that, as I said earlier, they are afraid of, another uprising. They believe it will happen again. And they are trying their best as much as possible to make sure they just use force and create fear so that people cannot think of it at all. And that is why they arrested him. However, what I strongly believe, the time is coming, maybe with this COVID-19 fallout, the economy is going to get strength very well this 2020, and things are going to be difficult for the citizens. This may prompt another strong demonstration or uprising. I strongly believe, because serious economic hardship is lying ahead.
Yes.
So, and again, this insecurity of killing. I know it has been happening. It's even look as if our people are now used to the kill. Nobody want to really rise up. But the way it is going, these two things is something that is going to prompt the whole Nigerians. Now they will rise up and call the government to order and demand for something that will help them. Currently, we don't have a government that respects rule of law. And the reason is that it's the mentality, as I said earlier, that colonial mentality is still there. Our police are not properly trained. It's still very colonial training, primitive trainings. The judiciaries, they don't do their job properly, because imagine the state Senate president, the deputy president, they will say, oh, I'm loyal to Mr. President. the Chief Justice of the nation. I am loyal to Mr. President. You understand me? These are the key areas. So automatically, all the government is just loyal to one person. You can't challenge whatever Buhari decide to do. And again, they are not working alone. You know, they always work with some of these cabals from the region. You understand me? If it's an Igbo man, they work with the Igbo politicians. If it's a Yoruba man, they work with the Yoruba politicians. So whatever they do to Sowore today is something that they plan together and they agree upon. They want to try to eliminate people of his type, though he's trying to sow new things into the heart of the youth. But I don't believe that those things will germinate, grow, and yield fruit, because the way this country is being structured is a very huge problem. And we have to agree that it is not properly structured. And that restructuring is the only way forward. So we should have to campaign for that. He shouldn't tell us he has the key to solve Nigeria problem. The problem is today is very complex. I don't think single person can solve it. So restructuring means you are giving chances for other people to support you to solve it. Take insecurity, for example, like what is happening everywhere in my state where I come from. You see, if today we can cry to the governor, but the governor is going to give you an excuse. I'm not in charge of the police command, though constitutionally they can call him the command of Nigeria Police, those state or whatever, you know. But he's not commanding anything. He just how will I put artificial command? You may command them, they may listen to you, but there are certain points they will just get order from above, and that they do whatever comes from above and neglect you as a state governor, and where the people are looking onto you. So we have a very bad structure, and this is something we have to move for. So I believe Sowore, whenever they like, they will release him. He's not Sowore issue can never in any way trigger the entire Nigeria like the answers.
Yeah, but I think
let me add to something. Let me add to something that my brother may have missed. There is something fundamental that Nigeria, that's the people in power, are forgetting. Now, it doesn't matter whether you arrest Sowore or you arrest Nnamdi Kanu or you arrest Magnus Oraka or you arrest anybody that has a voice to speak and challenge the inadequacies of the Nigerian government. The truth is that the reality of the Nigerian situation will eventually snowball into a carnage that no amount of arrest, no amount of denial, no amount of hypocrisy, no amount of hidden agenda will stop it. Now, let me create a scenario for you here. The truth is that we have had a type of birth that has generated so many youth that the older generation had not planned for. They have not made adequate provision for them. And then the old ones, like the Lai Mohammed, like the Aregbesola, all these old people, they have refused to retire and give room for the younger generation to come into determining their future, so much so that they bring system that appeals to their time. Now, these are old people trying to use old methods that are obsolete to drive a country that is facing new realization, new technology, new development, new ideas, new frontiers. So it's not going to work. So we have a whole lot of youth, both illiterate and literate, that are culminating and piling. What is going to happen someday, which is very, very near, all we just need is a fuse. One of such fuse that blew up brought about the answers. So it doesn't matter how much pretext that the government is pretending today. It's good on another riot to call. It may not be another answers. It might not be any bad government. It might not be something. It's going to become, and it's going to be bigger than answers. I am not planning.
More than the one that show.
Well, let me quickly make a disclaimer here. I am not saying I'm going to plan a big uprising. No, I'm just trying to so that the government not come carry me, come say I talk say another big riot they come. I am making a disclaimer. Magnus Oraka is not planning any riot, but I'm saying that the antecedent, the parameters on ground, the pillars on ground, clearly shows that it's only a matter of time before the energies,
We are just
the
predicting.
energy already
Just
on ground,
predicting what is going to
yes,
happen.
will explode.
Mm.
Now, don't forget, the naira is now exchanging at 500 per dollar. And
Yeah.
that automatically cement a couple of months ago, not years ago, a couple of months ago, a bag of cement was 2,700 naira. Now it's 4,000 naira. Close to almost 100% increase. Food prices have risen. Rice was a mudu of rice was mudu rice about 300 before. Now it's 1,000 plus. So the cost of feeding in every home will be so high that families cannot eat as they used to eat. Rents are increasing. Families cannot pay rent as they used to pay.
Yes.
Remember the increased light. Remember the increased light bill until they brought it back again. So there's a place cost of living will rise up to that the ordinary man, which makes up the larger population of the country, cannot contend. And already one of the first signals of this population that I'm talking is already evident, which is the rate of crime. You can see rate of crime has increased, particularly kidnapping. Kidnapping today is now seen as one of the fastest and most lucrative way to make millions of naira overnight.
Yeah.
So this is one of it. Other crimes, look, a time will come, my sister, in this country, you will just come out of the market with a bag of shoppings that you've gone to do that is food. Somebody will run and just snatch it from you. It will get to that point.
Even
You see, so
soup. Even
yeah, that's food. So what we have between the last NSAS is just a reprieve, just a mere breather, a mere relaxation period. It will still come. But arrest as many people as you can arrest. They will still come, they'll still break those prisons and release those people. It will still look, the country is getting to where everything will be total collapse. It will be a crime spree, a violent free. It will be so much. It will be such a way that people will even stand and face the gun, kill me, because it will get to a point whereby it will be better to die than to live. It will come to a point whereby dying, nobody will be scared to die because already you are dead when you can't feed yourself. You are dead when you can't pay your rent. You are dead when you can't pay your school fees. You are dead when you can't pay light bill. You are dead when you can't feed. So what are you living for? It's better to die fighting for something than to live and pretend Nigeria is good. So what they are doing, they are just pretending. They are burying their head into the sands of hypocrisy. And very soon, the breeze will blow. All the grains of sand will be blown apart and their head will open. So it doesn't matter how much hypocrisy that the government is adopting to hide the reality of the time that Nigeria is a failed country. Much as they try to do, there's a cannonball that the fuse is ready. The youths are just looking for something to ignite it. Let me tell you, the street where I'm staying, in the morning, and this is the truth, I'm not making things up. This street where I'm staying now, in the morning, if you go out, you will see these little joints where they sell this alcohol. As early as 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you see young boys, ages of 14, 15, 16. They start their day with drinking strong alcohol, and they smoke cannabis, weed, igbo. They smoke and pass it on to another one. In those days, they hide and smoke this thing. Now, they smoke it openly. Now, you see, I have boys too. Of course, they can do that, but there's no guarantee because they see these things. Now, whether it is alluring to them, but the point I'm trying to make is that Nigeria is getting to a point whereby we have youths who have no jobs, who have no means of subsistence, they have nothing to fall back on. And the cluster of the accumulation of the population of this youth is a cannonball that will only need a small trigger. And it doesn't matter whether they lock tens of thousands of Sowore or arrest tens of thousands of Magnus Raka or Nnamdi Kanu or anybody. Nigeria will have a revolution, whether you like it or not. But like a Tionsa said, it doesn't depend on Sowore calling it. the reality of the situation will eventually call for. My sister, you guys are living abroad.
You said
you guys are living abroad. You guys are living abroad. You don't know what it means to live in Nigeria. Like when we are doing this broadcast, they just brought the light. What we were using before was generator, and there was no light since morning. They just brought it now, and around 11 or 12, they'll still take it again, and it will continue that process of darkness. To you now, it's strange because you don't understand what it means for power supply to cease. That is how it is here. To feed, you go to the market and you hold 10,000 naira. It's like an insult to the whole process of trying to go to the market to buy foodstuff. And what is the average? The average income, the minimum wage is 18,000 naira. A bag of rice here is 36,000 naira. In where you are staying, how can a bag of rice be more than the minimum wage of an individual?
Exactly.
You're going to pay rent, you're going to pay school fees, you're going to feed, you're going to transport, you're going to buy toiletries, you're going to entertainment, inside 18,000 naira. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And the 18,000 naira that you're even calling that in numerical figure, it looks important. But the value of the 18,000 naira, 3 years, what am I saying? The value of 18,000 some months ago is not the same value of 18,000 now.
Now, especially during the COVID lockdown.
You understand me? So it's a failed system. The truth is that it's a failed system. So they should quit pretending to be arresting people. The truth is that even in the far north, they will be the first to trigger the next riot. It's not even the south. The north will be the first to trigger this because they are just still pretending. They are held together. Their hypocrisy, their pretension is just held together by their fake loyalty of the North is ruling and they were protecting Islam. But soon the reality of the situation will soon transcend these pretexts and they will blow. Believe me, quote me, you see that the next riot will start from the North and not from the South.
You have said it all. Well predicted. Well predicted. Exactly, because many people have been saying this, that Nigeria cannot continue like this, so that one day the youth, they will explode, and when they explode, it's going to be a revolution in Nigeria. Exactly, you have predicted it clearly. I think everybody that is watching right now, pay attention to this show. You have said it all, sir. You have said it all. So even though they are arresting Sowore, millions of Sowore, it will not solve the problem. What they should be focusing
they
on
should
right
know
now,
that Sowore is not even the problem. Sowore will not trigger the next riot
at all.
The reality of the situation, will trigger the next riot, and it's going to start from the north. It won't even be the northerners, because right now as we speak, the northerners are suffering. They are just pretending as if we are supporting our own. But my brother, there's a limit to which you can pretend when your stomach begins to bite you and you know that there's no food. You understand me? We have a way of still feeding. We have a way of still feeding somehow. We have brothers who can send us money, maybe from abroad, or our brothers who are, somehow we can still feed. But it's not easy for them. It's not easy for them at all. These are shoe shiners. People who sell kola nut, who barely make up to 500. They sometimes 200 naira a day. There's what they call garo. This garo is one flour swallow and one me and cooker. Just an average, you can buy actually a swallow for 50 naira. But the reality is that even those cheap food is no longer available. So when it gets to a point whereby the basic need of the common man, which is food, is very difficult to afford. And don't forget that they have children scattered everywhere, the Almajiri system. Don't worry, they should lock as many people as they want to lock. The truth is that the reality of the situation will trigger the next common, and it's not going to be led by anybody. It's not going to be led by anybody.
Yeah, they
So
can't even
that's
find
just
it.
the truth.
It will be difficult for them to find the sponsors, like the one they did during the SARS protest when they were targeting the sponsors. So the
No, the
next
reason why
uprising,
the reason
yeah,
why they were the reason why they were able to bring this NSAS was because it appeared as if it was a gathering of the Southerners against the
the
Northern
northern,
leadership.
yeah.
So when if the North starts it and then the South supports, you see, the religious dichotomy is knocked out,
Yes.
and then the ethnic in the first NSAS, it was ethnic dichotomy that was knocked out. The religious aspect was not entirely knocked out. That was why it was able to fail.
Yes.
But when we have the next riots again, it's going to cut across religious barriers, and once that happens,
and ethnic,
the government must bow. That's just the truth.
Yeah, you have said it all. Oh my God, wonderful, wonderful. So right now, the federal government, instead of focusing on fixing the problems facing the country, they are busy arresting activists.
So sorry, Mr. Etienne, sir.
Yeah.
Let it not look as if I'm dominating this conversation. I'm
No.
feeling so guilty. The truth is that, see, let me tell Nigerians the truth. The government have no solution to the country. That is just the truth. They are just trying to reach the end of the end of this. The truth is that they have no solution to the end to this problem
and
at
the
all.
problems are
The only
so
solution they have,
for them.
the only solution they have is that they should step down. But you know, pride will not allow them to step down. The truth is that our foreign reserve has been depleted. These people have eaten. There is nothing in our foreign reserve. When they say Goodluck Jonathan looted, Goodluck Jonathan didn't loot. Now it is now that the real looting was established. But because the same media, the media outlet that was reporting the looting of Goodluck Jonathan have decided to keep quiet. That's why we are not experiencing the extent of the looting of this federal government. So we have no government reserve. The importance of government reserve is that you can use this reserve, you know, to acquire aid from abroad. But right now we are begging without a corresponding reserve. So much so that we are just selling off Nigeria. What these leaders are doing now is that they are selling off Nigeria deliberately, because they know that when the debtors come to claim their debt, it wouldn't be, the effect will not be felt by the North, because the North have nothing to offer in paying off this debt. The wealth is in the South, so it is the South that the debtors will come to collect. Of course, if somebody is owing you and you enter somebody's house, you're not going to be carrying his shoes now or carry his cloth. You look for television to pick, or his car, or his refrigerator, or his generator, something of value. So in Nigeria, where do you have something of value? It's in the South. So all the debt that the North is collecting, they are confidently collecting this debt, deliberately collecting this debt, confidently collecting this debt, because they know that at the end of the day, if Nigeria is unable to pay this debt, the actual effect of repayment will not be felt by the North. It will be felt by the South. Right now, Nigeria is tactically being sold off to China. They are everywhere in the country. Running
big topic, sir. A big topic.
You get me?
Yes.
Running everything. See, my sister, if I tell you things I know about Nigeria, we can't finish this thing in one. That one, like you rightly said, it's another topic. So the thing is that these people, they have no idea. They have no idea. I pity for that Emefiele, the central bank governor. I pity him.
The problems facing the country is too complex for them, and the people who are ruling the country right now are not educated. They are not educated.
No. Let me tell you, no, you are getting something wrong there. I'm so sorry, Matthias. I feel so bad. You're getting something wrong there. We already know they are not educated. We know they are not educated. The question you should be asking, the Southerners who are educated, who knows exactly how things should be done rightly, but are more concerned with that immediate benefit that immediately accrues to their personal benefits, that masturbates their personal ego. How would you describe a sane society whereby a Buhari without a formal exposure, a formal intellectual exposure, is commanding a professor who is willing and proudly going to the market to share trader money. How do you explain that? The real problem of this country is not the northerners, it's the southerners who have refused to impose and put their intellectual foot down and said, no, we are too intellectual to buy this rubbish and this crap that this north is doing. And said, this is how they want the country to be. You are the most educated. You are the ones with the wealth. You are the ones that has the exposure. You are the ones that have international connection. You are the ones that have everything. But because you put yourself back and allow these people to use the gang up mentality, here in the north, they call it Taruandengi. Taruandengi means a gang up mentality whereby, like in a family, let's say this Etionsa now comes and he wants to fight me. My brothers will just come and back me up, and we all join our strength to beat him up, beat his face and spoil his handsome face. That is Taruandengi. So that's what the North is doing. That's why you see in the House of Assembly, once one of them is talking, it doesn't matter whether he said something right or he said something wrongly. The whole North will just support him. It's Taruandengi. But when our own is talking, that's when one will say, he's not from Igbo man, or he's not Edo, or he's on his own. So a lot of us leave the South and go to the House of Assembly with an individualistic agenda. It is never an all-encompassing agenda. The Igbo man is in the National Assembly fighting for an agenda that he believes solves his own personal problem. The Yoruba man goes there and is fighting for an agenda that solves the Yoruba problem. It is never about what is good for all of us.
Yes, that's what
it's never about what is good for us. But let me tell you, when you hear the Hausa man, you will never hear an Hausa man say the Hausa man has been, or the Fulani man has been, or the Kanuri man has been. It's always the North. You see, they always use North. It is always North. So you see, they play regional politics, but we play ethnic politics. It is that ethnic politics we play that has continuously put us where we are. You get me? That has continuously put us where we are. So until the day we try to say, okay, well, I am pursuing an Edo agenda, but in order to achieve this Edo agenda, I must link my agenda with that of the Igbo agenda, with that of the Calabar agenda, with that of the Ijaw agenda, so that we can get a bigger agenda that cover everybody. But in that bigger agenda, the Edo man is satisfied, the Igbo man is satisfied, the Calabar man is satisfied, the Yoruba man is satisfied. We are not able to do that yet.
But sir, from what you just said,
and let me tell
from
you
what you just said right now, do we really have one Nigeria if we have to practically divide the country into two parts? Why the North?
We cannot have.
We don't have
one Nigeria.
They are very collective in their actions. Why the Southern region are supposed to be uniting against the North? Do we really have one Nigeria? I'm so confused about what exactly. How can we solve this problem facing the country? That's what I'm trying to say.
Let Mr. Etienne talk so that he doesn't.
Go ahead about this division in Nigeria. That the country is practically divided, and when we are discussing about the problems facing the country, we always differentiate the Northerners from the Southerners, of which we have one Nigeria. All of us are under the integrity of Nigerian soil. Why is it that we are always dividing ourselves, especially during discussion or anything that has to do with Nigeria? Go ahead and tell me. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I would like to go back to what Raka just said, and before I make some contribution. The truth of the matter is that what really lies ahead is very dangerous. So Nigerians are going to rise again. And what is going to motivate Nigerians to rise is not what Sowore is doing, neither or what Kano is doing. So their activism is not going to motivate Nigerians as a whole. But however, the reality on ground, it is the effect of the bad governance since the independent that is going to trigger this generation. But my worry is that if they rise up and people are not there to direct them, because of anger, pains and anger in them, there is chances for other people to hijack them. And that may trigger another huge division, and at the same time create a very huge problem that if care is not taken, it will affect the generations of that, these are our present generation, till 2 or 3 generations. Because hunger and hunger is there already. Only people are not willing to exploit it. Or maybe they don't even know how to do it. By the grace of God, I pray for them not to do it. And I think, for my own opinion, personally, I strongly believe that the hour has come, particularly these South traditional leaders. They should come out and start talking to their youth. Because just ignoring them is very dangerous. Because we don't know if the uprising start today. If it start today, we don't know who is going to be in charge of this youth any longer. Neither the traditional leader or neither the government. So that we expose the entire people to a new front. And that is the greatest worries I have with MA. And to come back to your second question, whether we are one Nigeria. We are not one Nigeria in the first case. We are not one Nigeria. Nothing makes us one Nigeria.
Never.
The Northerners knew it very well. It's only the Southerners that pretend, just as Mr. Raka said, just because of personal gain or interest, they can come out publicly and be, dribbling their people, sometimes apply for us to believe, oh, we are one Nigeria. But practically one Nigeria is not there. So the earlier we admit it that it is not working, and that the one Nigeria created by Britain is a scam and is a fraud and is not going to give us any future. So except we come to that point of accepting it, that this Nigeria is not working and it is not going to work, the only possible chances we have is to restructure the country the way it is in abroad, the way it is in every other country. Take, for example, where I live here in Sweden. The local government make laws on their own. The states have their laws. So the federal also make laws. But however, they work under the same systems of rule of law. Take, for example, if there is a resources in this local government where I live, or they call it common, and the federal want to tamper with it, if the local said no, that is the end. You understand me? They have power over what belongs to them. So they have that sense of belonging. And that is how it is in the whole of Europe. As you said, what can we do? What can we do? The truth of the matter is that if the big guys who failed Nigeria, who destroyed Nigeria, even when the British were there with us, they never put us together. They allow us to live independently. The Southerners were on their own, the Northerners and the Southeast, the Southwest, they were different region of their own. So even when we got independent, we enjoyed just a few years, and later, coup upon coup, we lost everything. Now we cannot go back to that place again, because why? The current situation is benefiting the Northerners. For them, Nigeria is working for them because their own agenda is being fulfilled on a daily basis. It is only we in the South, based on our own understanding of life, that feel that Nigeria is not working. You understand me? So, and that is why we must do everything possible.
Nigeria as a country is not working.
So if we decide,
decide
to restructure today, the question is, it is simple. But for we to really achieve much, every ethnic nationality which make up kingdoms in that country have to be recognized. And in doing so, giving them power to manage what they have and contribute to the center. That is what is going to reduce the central power. So concentrating everything into one hand.
Do you mean the federalization or the federalism?
Even if, the federalism has failed. But even if we restructure and we don't have a set of proper arrangement that respect the core value of every ethnic nationality that make up that region, let's say South, for example, we're still going to inherit the same problem. No man should come out, I have solution for Mr. A, or I have solution for every other people, either because we are majority in population. Allow everybody to have sense of belonging to their land. You understand me? So they should have that right to manage what God has given to them. Then they will contribute to Central. However, the whole region cannot be having equal strength in terms of contribution. But with the TAG contributed to the Central, that is where they will not decide to support that region. After all, we are all one. Because an Urobo man can choose tomorrow to say, I'm going to Edo. Edo man can choose, I'm going to Urobo. You understand me? So because the government is able to distribute this wealth, then everybody will not have confidence. So unlike Nigeria, for example, somebody is in Abuja, he doesn't know anything about the certain people. You just appoint your brother to come and police them, to come and be the head of the army, appoint a judge for them. Your culture and their cultures are not the same. They don't know what you are doing in their place. So they don't benefit anything from the government. So that is why, for me, I wept for my leaders, particularly the stakeholders of my state, like Edo, that they are not coming out at this very point to really think of what next to do. Nigeria definitely a huge crisis is lying ahead, and it is inevitable. Nothing is going to stop it. And it's not going to take one man to start it. It is something that is going to affect everybody generally, that is going to trigger it. Right now, people are hungry. And at the same time, they are hungry also. So with the pain of the pain that they are going to receive from both hunger and hungry, and that hunger with it then, and the hunger that is facing the land, definitely they are going to rise up one day and challenge the government. But if there is nobody to lead them, and there is no clear demand, because if you are still declaring, you are still demanding for good governance, where in a place where tribalism is the real cure of our problem. The people who structured Wazobia, they were the one that killed Nigeria. They destroyed the dream totally. And when both parties, like as I said earlier, Sowore, I will not support him. They have to agree that Wazobia destroyed Nigeria. And we don't want people from both sides, whether a so-called majority, to come and say, we have what it takes to lead Nigeria. Where intellectual people will come out, whereby other intellectual people from the minority decide to take the power, it will not get the support of the so-called majority. And that is why we have problem. It is the arrangement of these Wazobia, so some ethnic people, like the eastern part of Nigeria, they feel they are already out of the political space of that arrangement. And like in Yoruba also today, they feel that where the Fulani push the eastern people to, that is where they are trying to push them to. You understand me? A place of irrelevance to the politics of the country. And that is why they are trying to come out with a Motekun and all this kind of thing. Like, look, we are powerful enough to challenge you. So we must sense this. Like for me personally, also, whether is a Yoruba, is fighting for Yoruba, not for me. It's not going to do anything.
I don't think it's tribalistic. I don't think
it is tribalistic. This is the problem. We don't want to admit the fact that the tribal problem in Nigeria is the real cause of our problem.
I know.
Because they fail to address.
Sowore is not tribalistic.
It's not tribalistic.
I actually don't.
No, listen. For now, he is not tribalistic. Sowore is only fighting. If he happens to be the president of the country, it will be Yoruba first. So this is the thing we are facing. I ask people, the Yoruba have ruled that country. The Hausas have ruled. The Niger Delta have ruled. Why can't we have the picture of Anthony Anoro in our money? Why can't they build one something to remember him? It's because he's from the minority. So, and that tribalism is there. We are just it's not, we always say it's not tribalism, we are one. It's working for them. A railway
let me say something. I want to forget something. Our host,
let me just try to round up what I'm saying. Take for example now. It's okay. Now they signed loan with the sovereignty of the country with Chinese. Now the Chinese are building railway all the way from Lagos to Ibadan. Do you see the one now they're already using it? They're making use. Do you see anyone from Lagos to Benin that link to the old East? So you see the way they are using our people with the view that we are one. What kind of one? The Southerners, both the East and West, they are the one that really created the entire problem that we are facing in this country today. And trying to trust both of them that, we in one Nigeria, maybe when one is there, it's still going to benefit, or particularly we from the South side, is 100% lie. You understand me? I don't trust any of them. Like, as I said earlier, if he said he want restructure, he's fighting for restructuring of the country, I will support him, because we feel marginalized. We, the minority, the entire South, and that is the first thing. So that is why I said, if there is any uprising again,
the amalgamation of Nigeria is too much.
All our cultural heritage is in great danger. People want to see the fall of our traditional leaders who will, if care is not taken, they will be a victim of what they did not contributed to. Because first of all, now they don't have their own police created to defend them in terms of crisis. Now you depend upon these Fulani people that does, like yesterday, you see an article that some guys, some criminals, they escaped from state CID center of police state CID. Whom are you going to hold accountable for that? And they even try to keep it secret. We don't even know the exact number until now of those kind of people that escape from there. But they how plan work. So where we are going from here is very, very dangerous. And it is time for all our stakeholders from Edo Delta to rise up and say, look, we want our own security first. Because for me, I don't think this country, this 2021, 2022, I don't think Nigeria is still going to continue to be in a kind of this kind of criminal administrative system that they have been doing for years will continue like this without the youth one day rising up, because the economic hardship that lies ahead is too much. Yeah, this is what I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
There is some. It's like when my brother Etionsa said some things. He brings a very big issue. You see, madam, in this show, we've been bringing topics that are supposed to be individual topics in different shows, and we are discussing them together. But then it's not your fault, and neither is it our fault. It's just it's as a result of how complicated the Nigerian problem has become. That's why it's like this. If not talking about whether Nigeria is one, that's another topic on its own.
A big one, big topic.
Be that as it may, there is something, you see. Let me use your platform to say something. One thing I want we from the South to do, and it's very important, as much as we don't like Nnamdi Kanu, the East are financially supporting him. As much as we may claim not to like Sowore, the West is financially supporting him. Even Adeyinka grandson that is spewing hate speech, they are supporting him. We that we have a few mouthpieces that are online talking, I wouldn't want to say about myself, but from your Edo, I know there's a Lady Joy, there is a wounded civilian. What effort are we doing to support these people so that they have their voice is not broken? Because these are the people that are fighting to protect their heritages. You understand me? So I want to use this opportunity to say these people need to be so. Like my own people, the Robo people, I see them, they are very quiet. They are pretending nothing is happening because the caliphate gave them deputy senate president and the minister. Therefore, they feel their mouth has been, not they feel that their mouth has been silenced to challenge the government of the day. And I feel ashamed for my own Robo people because that's exactly what is happening. Going back to this unitary, Nigeria is one. Nigeria is united. Let me tell you something. There are facets to it. To the Hausa man knows that Nigeria is not united. Now, the Hausa man knows that the South is so stupid enough that they can be intimidated. That is just what is. I am the one living here, so forgive me. I don't claim to know the North too much, but to live with some people for 54 years, it's not 54 days. So I know their mentality. They found out that the South is so stupid enough not to recognize its strength, and that you can easily intimidate them by scaring them with this misrepresentation of power of the North. They have misrepresented. They have misrepresented a lot of things from the North. One of the things they've misrepresented is population. They claim they have more population than the South. That's a big lie. That's a very, 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 very big lie. This is the only place where you can travel for 100 kilometers and you won't meet any civilization. Compared to a place from Benin to Saple alone, I think it's about 100 and something kilometers. From Benin to Saple, you will be meeting villages before you meet this. How can you tell me that?
I don't want to cut you. You know, you said this before on this show that the North they are just pretending as if they have the population in Nigeria.
Let me.
We have the census in Nigeria. don't you think the census will account for the population of various ethnic groups,
No. We don't have
region of the
census.
country?
There's no census
I
at all.
like. Oh no, don't worry. You see, I like the way you ask the question. I like the way you ask the question. You ask the question in such a way that clearly shows that you do not understand these people. Do you know that since they created Nigeria, the people who have headed the Nigerian Census Commission are the Northerners.
Okay.
Very recently, do you know there's a census exercise going on. The South don't know. Most people on the street don't know that there's a census exercise. At the end of the day, they'll just give you figures. They just put figures that they want and tell you that the North is more populated. The North is not populated at all. And then, please, I'm going to the unity of Nigeria, the unity of Nigeria. So you may be wondering, how is this connected? But I'm going to link it so that you see where I'm coming from. They tell you that they are more than you. They tell you that they are the one feeding, that they have more food in the North than they have in the South. And most of the, they tell that one man in the North here can have up to 60 children. It is true. If you look at population from the perspective of the male, yes, you think the North have it. But I will also tell you that it is rare to see a woman here in the North, an average woman in the North here, having 5 kids or 6 kids. Mostly it's 3, 4, 2 or 1. But in the South, my own mother had 18 kids. My wife's mother had 12. Between my mother and my wife's mother is 30 children. And in those days in the South, you see women, 12 children, 13 children, 11 children. That's how. So if you look at population from the perspective of the woman in the South, you see that we too, we can boast of population. So when it is this little information they send to us that makes us feel chickened when they come. So when they say Nigeria is an indivisible entity, they say this narrative because it is what immediately appeals to your intellectual exercise. That intellectual exercise that you say you have Western education, it appeals to it immediately. Who says that tomorrow, if the whole SARS come together, that like when Mr. Tionson said that Nigeria should be restructured, the Yorubas are saying that we need restructuring. The Igbos are saying we need Biafra. The South is saying we need restructuring. The question I always ask you is that, okay, yes, we all need restructuring. So who are we waiting for to start the exercise? The Northerners, who you don't say they don't want restructuring. That is because we have given the North too much credit. It's as if everything we must do must be accented by the North. It is the same game effect.
That's collective. We are running a one Nigeria.
Yes.
We have to be collective.
Yes, it is the same. It is the same gang mentality that is affecting our politicians, that is also affecting us as commentators. We don't need to wait for the North. It's just a matter of will and zeal to say, okay, see, let me tell you, if we want restructuring today, if the governors of the Southwest and the governors of the South and the governors of the Southeast and some governors from the Middle Belt, if they come together and said, tomorrow we want restructuring, it doesn't matter whatever intimidation the North bring, they will have to sit down. It's game over. But let me tell you the scenario that will happen. If the governors of the South and Southeast all decide to come, you must find one traitor from the Southeast. For example, I know that Governor Omar, he would betray us. You will see one traitor from the South. You see one traitor from the Southwest. The traitor from the Southwest will betray us based on religion, that he doesn't want to betray his Muslim brother from the North. You see one traitor from the East because they've bought him over with money. You see one traitor from the South side because he is chicken-hearted. He wants to worship his slave master. So we must first try to eradicate that gang mentality. The North has held us for a very long time with this gang mentality. Do you know that when they wanted to give us independence in 1957, the North said they are not ready, and we all waited for the North to get ready. It took them 3 years to plan how them and the colonial master, 3 years to say, okay, if we go, this is how you are going to control it. They gave them a manual on how to control Nigeria, and they've been operating that manual till today. We've given these Northerners too much credit We've given them too much
No,
credit
not that we are
over the
giving
years
them
that
credit. We are trying to maintain this one Nigeria that we should be
no,
collective in
it's
our
an
action, not
unconscious.
credit.
When
Yes,
I say
not
we're giving
credit.
them credit,
Yeah.
when I say we're giving them credit, it's an unconscious way, because I told that in independence, the North said they are not ready, and we all waited for the North to be ready. So it's like anything we want to do with Nigeria, we must seek. This is where I'm coming up. It's like
We are
anything we want to do in
seeking,
Nigeria.
we must seek, because you know that the Northerners, they are way behind in terms of civilization in Nigeria. So we cannot exclude them because we have one Nigeria. We can't say we are giving them credit. We are not giving them credit. It's just because of the
No,
differences.
no,
We are
you are
not.
taking
No.
my narrative. You are taking my narrative out of context.
Okay.
I
So.
said it's like when we say we want restructuring, which we really do want. We really do want restructuring. But the question is, when are we going to have this restructuring? Who is going to say, okay, let's start the restructuring before we get the restructuring? We say we want the 1990. Some are also advocating that the 1999 constitution should be changed, which is where me and Tony Nadi we've had, because I speak with him, which is where, because he doesn't like people telling him what to do or suggesting what to do with him. My question is this: we want the 1999 constitution to change. So who are we waiting for before we change the 1999 constitution? Okay, we want restructuring. Who are we waiting for before we start the restructuring? We seem to believe that the North has to agree before we get this restructuring, before we start the process. All I'm saying is this: for us to get this restructuring, we don't need the North to agree. If
So
we in the South agree,
I'm just trying to play a kind of a advocate here, no devil's
Mr.
advocate.
Raka,
Yeah, because we
yeah,
have one Nigeria. We have one Nigeria. We want to be collective as much as we can in any decision making. So if the northern region of Nigeria is not supporting our decision, so we have to request for permission from them in order to maintain one Nigeria. That is what I'm trying to say here. I'm not sure if people will agree with me, but I won't blame the Satanans.
no, I'm not saying I don't agree with you.
Mm.
I'm not saying I don't agree with you. Please, that's not the point. You get me? You see, I like the way you are bringing this question. I so love the way you are, because if you are so conversant with the antics of the North, you will not be answering this question as simple and as naive as you are bringing the question. So that's why I'm like, I'm happy you are asking the question the way you are asking them. You understand me? The truth is that do you know what a leech is? A leech survives by leeching on something. A leech can only survive by leeching onto something. The North knows what is happening to the North is that they have this inferiority complex. They know that if we say they should restructure, they will become slaves. They will become nothing. The only thing that gives them relevance is power. And this power, they get it to subvert the wealth of the South to their place. So that's the only way. But if you say they should be restructuring now, they've, over the years since 1960, they've not spent any of those time to develop themselves. They have no skills, they have nothing. In today in sports, the North is not there. In economic, the sport is not there. In commerce, the sport is not there. So they know that they don't have anything to offer. So if you restructure, they are going to be shortchanged. The only way they can be relevant is to continue this system of government that continues to give them opportunity to twist everything in their favor. So if you are waiting for them that we should have a collective this thing whereby they will agree to carry everybody along, you see, this is the intellectual social exercise that has continuously made the South so vulnerable to the North. We tend to apply what is real, what is normal, what is logical, but you see, the people you apply this thing with don't believe in all this nonsense. As far as concerned, all these things are haram. They are Western thinking. They believe in jungle justice. Winner takes all. The strong kills the weak. The strong rule the jungle. That is how their mindset work. So for you to deal with these people, you must understand this is how they think. If you want to wait for them that, okay, we want to restructure this country, we want to carry them along, and they have to come and sit in the round table so we discuss. You are going to wait from now to the next generation to come. They will never do it.
You are very,
So what I'm saying,
understand me now.
is What I'm saying is that, you see, it's not as if we are going to leave the North. All the North is waiting to see. They are waiting to see a resolve. Please underline the word resolve. RESOLVE. They are waiting to see a resolve. The reason why they are still doing shakara, saying that Nigeria is invisible, we cannot, nobody can break Nigeria, is because they are yet to see that resolve in us in anything. In fact, the only time they saw anything that remotely resembled a resolve in Nigeria is the NSAS protest. But like as usual masters of the game, all they needed to do was to wait. They knew that we, our own self, we spoiled that opportunity we had. And indeed, we spoiled it by our own self. When Nnamdi Kanu came and said he is the one that ordered the stealing of the Oba's maize, he is the one that ordered this thing. And before you know it, from NSAS protest, everything deteriorated into Wike versus IPOB. That's how we spoiled it. So all the North is waiting for them to lose this power of dictating where Nigeria should go, from there to dictate when things should start happening to Nigeria, because the North has been the one determining when anything should happen. They determine when we should have independence. They determine when the 6th geopolitical zone. They determine the 99 constitution. They determine almost everything. It's time we stop them from thinking that they can decide when things should happen in Nigeria. That's all I'm trying to say. And we can only ensure that if the governors of the South and the politicians of the South come together and show a definite resolve that now we want Nigeria to change, and Nigeria will change. Period.
Okay. Clear enough. Clear enough. I understand you that
Thank
we
you,
should not
Mr.
wait for the northern region to decide for us. We should be in the forefront of making the decision that will affect the country as a whole. Go ahead, Mr.
Shikena.
Yeah.
You know, from my own perspective of everything, or my own opinion, I strongly believe that a time that is not going to be far away from here, something strange is going to happen in that country. And the only thing that really pains me is my people in the South, they are not ready to really look into this great, huge advantage that the Buhari administration has created for them. The government have failed woefully, and it's a huge opportunity for them to take their people out, or to take the bull by the horn. But they don't want to use that opportunity. And every time we're going to complain with the Northerners, they are not, they are not well educated. They don't have good knowledge. With their level of education, they are very skillful to grab the power for their own advantage. And that's what they are doing. So I don't see anything that stop our South governor not to come together to say, oh, and now there's insecurity. Our people will support us. The youth will support us. Let us really give them a very strong one, but they cannot unite. Okay, look at the Southwest, the Southeast. What stop all these governors not to come together when they understand very well that nearly more than 80% of the entire population of the Southern people, particularly the youth, will support them to call for restructuring, or maybe to call for a security outfit for the region. They don't do it. So we are still serving the Northerners based on individual interest.
Of course.
So that interest is really creating the problem. And I strongly, as I said earlier, my worries is directly about our own cultural heritage. Because most of these people that are quiet today, the youth are watching them carefully, and they are expecting them to say something. They are expecting them to come out, you understand me, from their various places, to give a kind of directives to them what to do next. I tell you, very soon you will see smoke everywhere. Something that will be stronger, something that will be greater and
of
huge.
Course, now we know that's very true.
Will rise. And if these youth are out of control, it may become something else. And then it may be too late.
No, we want them to be out of control.
Yeah?
We want them to be out of control. We want the youth to be out of control.
Yeah. So and
when they are out of control and scatter the country, at least we'll definitely sit and talk.
No, if they do that and they are not under control of anybody and they just scatter everything like that, we are going to turn against ourselves. There are huge issues on ground that we refuse to solve. One, ethnicity. You understand me? So, and again, we also have some regions that are some group on ground already who are fighting for their own independence. and sometimes the way they approach others, they don't even have respect for the cultural heritage of their neighbors.
Mr. Tionsa,
Yeah.
the North is educated. You see, I made some videos some time ago about this educated thing. What is education? Education is the ability to read and write. And education is the ability to think and express what you are thinking in any form of writing that another person can read.
Yeah.
What you are thinking that make you think the North is not educated is because the type of the way we have Western education, they have Arabic education, and as a matter of fact, they start their education way more early than your own. You take your own to nursery school, they take their own to Almajiri school. Just because their own is crude and dirty and primitive, you think it's not a form of education, but it's a form of education. A boy of 6 years can recite the Quran from beginning to the end. Can write very well in Arabic. So if you can write a letter and say, okay, dear Mrs. Osage, I want to be in your program by so day. Now, so Mrs. Osage, now so Zama guess a program na kidan like tuna da ne misalin karfe bakwai na yamma zan zo. Because it is in another language, does not make it less transmissible or perceived as an education just because it is not in English.
Yes, exactly.
It is the same writing, the same reading, just it is in a different language. This is why they cheat us. We perceive them as not educated, and therefore when we are confronting them, we are unable to match them with the intellectual and intelligent exercise that is needed to overturn a foe, because we already assume that they are not educated. They are not educated, but they will determine your existence in this country for how many years. So we cannot. We should stop dismissing them that they are not educated. They are very smart, very smart.
That is what I said.
That's very smart. So the issue of them. So anytime want to engage them, you understand me? They have